Hello there and welcome to the news at 6, where we're getting you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and let's head straight to the headlines. The Home Minister expresses strong condemnation of telecast of BBC's Delhi gang rape documentary in the UK and other countries last night. The victims' parents say they are neutral to the controversy. Divisions deepen in the Aam Aadmi Party as senior leader Mayank Gandhi points at Kejriwal's role in the ouster of Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan from the PAC. The Delhi High Court upholds the conviction of former Haryana Chief Minister Om Prakash Chautala and his son in the 1999 JBT teachers recruitment scam. A trial court had sent them to jail for 10 years. And the US Secretary of State John Kerry looks to ease concerns in Saudi Arabia on an emerging US nuclear deal with Iran. US-Iran talks on the deal have ended for now. The top story, repercussions to the airing of the controversial documentary on the December 16th gang rape case, India's Daughter. The government has expressed strong exception to the BBC going ahead with its telecast, though the BBC has assured the documentary will not be aired in India. The government has also asked YouTube to take down video, but activists blame the worldwide airing of the film on acute lack of preparation on India's part.
Even after the massive hue and cry in both houses of parliament, India's Daughter was aired in the United Kingdom and other countries on Wednesday night. The BBC citing an intense level of interest leading to the Women's Day telecast being brought forward. But the government is not happy with the worldwide telecast either.
वैसे हम लोगों ने कहा था कि रिलीज नहीं की जानी चाहिए, लेकिन बीबीसी ने लंदन से उसे लेकिन हमें आगे की जो कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए वो हम लोग हमारा गृह मंत्रालय करेगा.
Protest had broken out in many parts of India soon after reports came out on a gang rape convict actually justifying the rape and blaming it on the victim. Protesters demanded that his execution be brought forward. A debate has also raged on whether the film should be banned in India or whether the truth needs to be faced instead of being buried. The victim's family has said it goes with the Indian government on the ban, though it had no objection either way.
भारत सरकार ने इस पे रोक लगाई है तो कुछ सोच समझ के लगाई है और मैं अपने देश से बड़ा नहीं हूँ. उस पे रोक लगा रहे हैं तो उनके साथ में हूँ, समर्थन है मेरा. लेकिन हमारा पर्सनल अगर देखा जाए तो इससे हमें कोई मायने नहीं रहता, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता दिखाया जाए ना दिखाया जाए.
Post telecast, lawyers say the government should have been better prepared in its push to have the film banned outright.
ब्रिटेन जो है वो एक इंडिपेंडेंट सोवरेन कंट्री है. इंडिया का कानून वहाँ लगता नहीं है और वो अपने उन पे पूरे अधिकार थे बीबीसी के कि वो अपने देश में चला दे. ये इस देश की भारत सरकार की इनएफिशिएंसी थी, अनप्रिपरेटेडनेस थी कि उन्होंने इसको ब्लॉक क्यों नहीं किया.
The BBC on its part has justified the making of the film, saying it was made responsibly with the full support of the victim's family. In India, on the contrary, a probe is underway on where rules on permissions were broken. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, as Arvind Kejriwal began his 10-day treatment in Bengaluru today, his Aam Aadmi Party struggled with a deepening crisis. Questions are being raised over the decision to remove founder members Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan from the PAC yesterday. In fact, AAP leader Mayank Gandhi's blog today objected to the way the decision was taken. But despite all this, Yogendra Yadav claims the party shouldn't be written off so soon.
Already battling infights over Arvind Kejriwal's functioning, fissures in the AAP deepened further today. Senior leader Mayank Gandhi raised objections against the manner in which founder members Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan were voted out of the party's Political Affairs Committee. He explained in his blog why he abstained from voting yesterday during the National Executive meeting. According to the blog, Yogendra Yadav has suggested two options yesterday to the party leaders. He proposed reconstruction of the panel from which he and Prashant Bhushan agreed to stay away. But Manish Sisodia moved a resolution to drop both of them.
The blog was directed towards the volunteer. I really do not think that I would like to use the media to take this party things outside. I have talked to the volunteers through a blog and I think you should read whatever you want to read into that.
The blog has prompted AAP into a damage control mode. Even Yogendra Yadav defended the party.
कुछ मुद्दों पर लोगों की अलग अलग राय हो सकती है, वो है, और बाकी सब जो है सच जो भी होता है वो आगे पीछे सामने आता है, आ जाएगा।
मैंने मयंक गांधी जी का ब्लॉग पढ़ा है, लेकिन मैं उस पे कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहता। बस मैं एक ही बात कह सकता हूं कि अंततः सच सामने आ जाता है। ये वक्त नहीं है आम आदमी पार्टी में अपनी आशा छोड़ देने का, और उन्हें वायदा करना चाहता हूं कि जिन बड़े सिद्धांतों के लिए हम इस पार्टी में आए हैं, इन सब सिद्धांतों के लिए हम तमाम लोग मिलकर लड़ते रहेंगे, अंदर भी बाहर भी।
Meanwhile, Arvind Kejriwal is in Bengaluru for a 10-day naturopathy treatment. He had skipped the crucial meeting yesterday. Doctors said that this is the first time Kejriwal was visiting for cough treatment.
Last time when he came, he did not have any chronic cough problem. He had come for his diabetes. But this time, since he's coming with this new problem, we have to examine him completely, and then whatever investigations has to be done, even that also has to be done. Only then I can come to a conclusion what actually he is suffering from.
Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will take care of the day-to-day affairs of Delhi government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Delhi High Court has upheld the 10-year jail term awarded to former Haryana Chief Minister Om Prakash Chautala and his son Ajay and 3 others on charges of corruption in a teacher's recruitment scam. The verdict comes as a huge blow to Chautala, who had challenged his conviction and sentence, seeking suspension of a jail term on the ground that he was unwell.
The father-son duo of Om Prakash Chautala and Ajay Chautala has been awarded 10-year prison terms in the teachers' recruitment scam. The two are accused of illegally recruiting 3,206 junior teachers in the year 2000. 8 others have also been sent to jail for a decade. 55 others are also convicted in the case.
Our main plea was that it is basically a civil dispute, and Mr. Om Prakash Chautala and his son Ajay Chautala are not at all involved in any criminal act. But unfortunately, the Honorable High Court has not accepted our this ground and has upheld the judgment of the lower court, and the sentence is also maintained for 10 years.
In his verdict, Justice Siddharth Mridul said the accused vilified the process of recruiting teachers and marred the exercise by corruption. The judge also said that the convicts challenged the ethical standards of other public servants and pressurized others to do their bidding.
अपील सभी मुजरिम की डिसमिस कर दी है। केवल क्वांटम ऑफ सेंटेंस पे कुछ मुजरिम को रिहाई दिया हाई कोर्ट ने। तो इस फैसले को हम देखने के बाद हम इसकी सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में अपील दायर करेंगे।
The High Court disposed of all the bail applications pending before it and directed all accused to surrender. The INLD chief, his MLA son and 53 others including 2 IAS officers were convicted on 16th of January by a trial court. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 2 600-megawatt units of Singaji thermal power plant in Madhya Pradesh today, dedicating both of them to the nation. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister stressed on the need for generating more power and energy. Modi said that the centre was committed on working on all sources of power generation. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal were also present during the inauguration. The project is expected to give impetus to the state government's Atal Jyoti Abhiyan, which aims at providing 24/7 power supply across the state. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone for a 1320 megawatt second phase unit worth 6,500 crore rupees.
हमारी कोशिश है कि हिंदुस्तान में जितनी बिजली की कमी है उसको बहुत तेज गति से पूर्ण किया जाए। मध्य प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी थी, उस समय मध्य प्रदेश में जितनी बिजली उत्पादन होती थी करीब उतनी बिजली सिर्फ ये सिंगाजी से मिलने वाली है, सिंगाजी से।
Meanwhile, Minister of State for Finance Jayant Sinha welcomed the RBI's decision to cut repo rate. He said that the RBI's decision will help implement a growth-oriented union budget. The minister said the benefits of the RBI move will be visible soon when the interest rates come down further. He also came out in defense of the union budget today, saying it has kept interests of poor, farmers and the youth in mind.
आरबीआई ने जनवरी में किया, अभी फिर कर दिया उन्होंने, और शायद और भी करेंगे। जैसे जैसे करेंगे बैंक अपने आप रेट कट्स करेंगे। इकोनॉमी में सब चीज़ लैग से होती है, ओवरनाइट लोग नहीं करते हैं। अगर आप लोगों का बयान पढ़े, बैंकों का बयान पढ़े, बैंकों में कई लोगों ने कहा है कि वो कंसिडर कर रहे हैं और होगा।
Without a quick break here, but still ahead, we've got more national news. 13 prosecution witnesses are cross-examined in the Uber rape case. More of that in a bit.
The guest this week with us is Mr. Ramvilas, the National General Secretary of the BJP. Article 370 is something that, how are you taking a long-term view on this?
We have different opinion, but for the sake of giving a government, we are saying we will maintain the present constitutional provision.
APSPA, you're using the word examining the denotified or the disturbed areas.
On APSPA, I would say we have left the issue to union government to take a final view.
After the Delhi performance, was there some kind of a pressure or some kind of a more heavy deliberation on now we should really seriously look and J&K sort out our problems come together?
We have kept the negotiations completely insulated from all other extraneous factors.
Watch The Quest with BJP's National General Secretary Ram Madhav only on Rajya Sabha TV.
आज न छोड़ेंगे बस हम टोली खेलेंगे हम होली खेलेंगे हम होली चाहे भीगे तेरी चुनरिया।
देखिए उली पर हमारा खास कार्यक्रम रंग बरसे शुक्रवार शाम 4 बजे सिर्फ राज्य सभा टीवी पर।
होली के दिन देखो आए रे
राज्यसभा टीवी के इस विशेष प्रोग्राम गुफ्तगू में आपका स्वागत है।
आजकल के गाने में वो बात नहीं मिलती है जो कि पुराने गानों में थी, लेकिन मेरा ये विचार है कि बेसुरा को सुरमन में बनाना ये हमारा कर्तव्य है। अरे ना साजन ना गोरी दिगंबर खेला मसाने में हो।
हम हैं आज लुधियाना में, यानी साहिर लुधियानवी का लुधियाना।
मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ।
कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है कि जिंदगी तेरी जुल्फों की नर्म छांव में गुजरने पाती तो शादाब।
उनकी नजर, उनका शहर और उस शहर में हमारा सफर देखिए सिर्फ राज्यसभा टेलीविजन पे।
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Now let's get you some more news from across the country in Nationwide. On the second day of the second round of coal block auctions, Trimula Industries Limited backed the Merrill mine for non-power sector in Jharkhand. This round of the auction will continue till the 8th of March. 15 ready-to-produce mines are up for auction in the second leg. The auctions are taking place following the Supreme Court's decision last year to cancel the allocation of 204 coal mines. 13 prosecution witnesses in the Uber rape case were cross-examined by a court today, a day after the Delhi High Court accepted the accused driver's plea to recall witnesses. The cross-examination would be carried out on a day-to-day basis and the counsel would not be given any adjournment on any ground. A Jaguar fighter aircraft of the Indian Air Force crashed in Haryana's Kurukshetra region today. The fighter aircraft crashed in the fields. According to preliminary information, the pilot ejected from the plane before it fell in the fields. The pilot gave a distress call before ejection. He was reported to have sustained injuries. Pharma tycoon Dilip Sanghvi surpassed Mukesh Ambani as the world's richest Indian with a net worth of $21.5 billion. Sanghvi, who is the founder of drug maker Sun Pharma, ended Reliance Industries' Mukesh Ambani's 8-year run as India's richest billionaire. International news now, and after wrapping up the Iran nuclear talks, US Secretary of State John Kerry is in Saudi Arabia today in a bid to ease Gulf Arab concerns on the nuclear deal. US and Iran had said that they have made some progress in the talks, but there are still significant gaps and important choices needed to be made.
Talks over Iran's nuclear program have ended, but with little progress made so far. In a veiled dig at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, US Secretary of State John Kerry said that simply demanding Iran's submission is no way to seal a deal. Meanwhile, the Iranian foreign minister said that negotiations were being held back by scaremongers.
There are still significant gaps and important choices that need to be made. The purpose of these negotiations is not to get any deal, it's to get the right deal.
We are not far from reaching an agreement. There are gaps that need to be filled, serious ones, but that doesn't mean that they are not, we are not capable of moving forward.
Benjamin Netanyahu shrugged off Kerry's criticism, reiterating that Iran nuclear deal is deeply flawed. The Israeli Prime Minister faced staunch criticism from the US after his controversial speech to the US Congress on nuclear deal on Wednesday.
The alternative to that bad deal is not war, but a much better deal. I proposed in Washington placing two new parameters on any deal with Iran. First, place tougher restrictions on Iran's nuclear programs. Second, I call for lifting those restrictions only when Iran ceases promoting terrorism, ends its aggression against its neighbors, and stops threatening to destroy the State of Israel.
US Secretary of State John Kerry is in Saudi Arabia today to ease concerns among Gulf countries over Iran nuclear deal. The nuclear talks are now expected to resume on March 15th. Neither side seems prepared to allow external pressures to influence the pace. However, many obstacles remain before a late March deadline for sealing a new accord between Iran and 6 world powers on the former's nuclear program. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here's more news from across the world in Global Buzz. An international drug smuggling syndicate has been busted with the seizure of 480 kilograms of drugs from 6 men in Sydney. The haul included more than 250 grams of cocaine and 230 kilograms of liquid meth, valued at hundreds of millions. The arrested had hidden them in bottles of flavored water that were on their way to a Sydney warehouse. US Ambassador to South Korea Mark Lippert was attacked in Seoul. The US Embassy has said that he was being treated at a local hospital but is in a stable condition. Seoul police said Lippert was slashed on his right cheek and hand with a small razor blade on Wednesday. The suspect was opposed to the joint South Korea-US military drills that launched earlier this week. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang today laid down China's economic goals at the People's Congress. Li set the country's GDP growth target at about 7% for 2015, the lowest in 11 years, focusing on quality over quantity as it overhauls its growth model. China is targeting slower economic growth as it tackles deep-seated economic problems and reduces its reliance on polluting fuels such as coal. Up next, cricket action in the World Cup. Bangladesh beat Scotland by 6 wickets. More on that in a bit.